Alright, so for today's video, we will analyze this pretty good game from 1931 between Sultan Bey, playing with the white piece, and Cortez, of course, black piece. And in this video, we will learn how to prepare our piece before attacking and how to utilize the open
Diagonal for
bishop. And when you are under attack, how to find a good counter attack. Not just moving away from the attack, but finding a counter attack. So if you're ready, let's go and analyze this wonderful game from 1931. So knight f3, d5, and c4, e6. So this is now English opening. G3. So the idea of G3 is of course to pressure going to A8. But let's see how black would respond here. B6. So black understood that, okay, white will have this bishop G2. I will move my bishop. So in the future, these two bishops might have some collision. Bishop G2, Bishop B7. Once again, I'm always reminding everyone that if you're gonna use this kind of formation, regardless queen side or king side, make sure you have to put your bishop in here. So let's continue. B3. Now, white is trying to have a double fianchetto, which is very strong, like a crisscross tie. D takes C, B takes C, C5. Controlling the center is very important, and the piece that is good to control the center is not only the minor piece, but the pawn. To avoid the D4, then you have to go C5. Castling very quickly. Knight F6. Of course, you have to develop your minor piece in order for your king to be safe here. Bishop B2, Knight to Knight BD7. The idea of Knight BD7, if Knight C6, Knight E5 is coming. So black didn't want to have this kind of pressure. Of course, where are you gonna put this knight? Are you going to what? Go Queen C7, Queen A4 is coming. So just imagine the pressure. And this king is uncastled, so you have to go Rook C8. And after all of that, Knight A3, jumping to Knight B5, pressuring this one. So white is clearly attacking here. To avoid that one, black can also, after Knight E5, considering this Knight A5 move, bishop to bishop. And the reason why black didn't move knight to c6 is he wanted to preserve the bishop b7, having some tension between two bishops. That is pretty good. Now e3, queen c7, knight c3, a6. Of course, knight b5 might be some annoying move for black here. And to prevent that one, you go a6. A4, the idea of A4 is later on, after bishop C6 or rook B8, black might have the opportunity to go B5. So to prevent that one early, at the same time, space, for example, bishop here in case of any open, or rook lifting here in case of opening the B file, please. Everything is all good now for white. But the main idea of A4 is, of course, to guard the b5 push. So let's continue. Rook c8. Rook c8 move is not that effective because, of course, rook is good in the open file. So when you are moving your rook, make sure it will hit something. But this time, there's a queen, pawn, and knight, so it's not hitting anything. So much better, black considered moving bishop e7 and then castling. But Corten, okay, I gotta go rook c8. I think Cortens was thinking of b5 and then c4 later on. Just preparing the rooks to have the open file and c. But let's continue. e4, bishop d6, queen e2. Now two rooks are connected. That's very important since there's no immediate attack here for white. You have to prepare your troops before executing any kind of attack. So right now, there is no attack yet, so you have to prepare everything. So castling for black, rook ae1 is like squeezing your own rook on f1, which is actually not really, because the idea of that one is to go f4. Just imagine this white would control the e and the f file, and of course marching forward the 2 pawns and will pressure the center, especially if you have your f4 here and then e4 e5 at double attacking the bishop and knight. So knight e5, and here knight d2, avoiding and preventing the exchange. Of course, what happened if white would capture knight takes and then bishop takes e5. Now, f4, but after bishop d4, king h1. Black is now controlling not only this diagonal but also this file. There's a back pawn on d3, which I think white would not like to have that kind of very pressuring position, especially the bishop on d4, which be followed by this e5. So outposting the bishop here. So instead of entangling yourself with knight to knight, just go knight to d2, avoiding the trade, and here rook f2 d8, allowing white to have the f4 and e5. The question is, what was Corten's idea? Sacrificing the piece. And now, since you are playing with the white piece here, you have to find the next idea of black in order for you to counter that one. You may pause the video if you want to analyze it more. Well, if you're ready, let's go. f4, which is the very inviting move, tempting move, and I don't see any wrong move here. It's f4 attacking the knight, but the unexpected move of black. Knight takes d3, sacrificing the knight. Now queen takes, bishop takes f4. So 2 pieces for 2 pawns for a knight, but the real idea of that one, just imagine the bishop and the rook attacking the knight, and of course if the queen moves away, rook takes knight, it controls the second rank. Remember, the rook is good in the open file and second or seventh rank, of course, really depend on your color. But if you are playing with the white piece here, how to surprise the black piece? You have to find a counter attack. Let's go and continue our analysis. White wouldn't need to move away the queen because of this move. Knight to d5, blocking the attack at the same time, opening this diagonal for the bishop. And here, black decided to capture bishop takes d2, but the best response here is to bishop e5. You have to challenge the open diagonal of white. However, Corten captures, and then queen takes. Of course, you have to capture the one that's free bishop. And the bishop captured your knight, so you have two. And e takes d. And here, since black attacked white first, now the table has turned. It's now white would go for a sacrifice. Can you find the next move of white? Rook takes f6. The idea of that one, of course, after that, this is what happened in the game. Bishop takes f6. Opponent resigned, because how can you stop this one? Come on, that is too strong. Of course, this one is coming. For example, push pawn, let's say, queen h6, and game over. Or this one, e takes d, queen h6, and this one, it opened. Now the only way to prolong the game is by moving queen e5, of course, capture f6. But it's useless to continue this kind of position for white. So according to engine, after rook takes f6, g takes f6 should not be done. Instead, d4, but after rook f2, white is piece up and of course winning. But you should not, play confidently here because black can have this b5 and then c and d will work together to pressure white. But in this position, obviously, white is happy.